What's going on, everyone? Gilman with Live Healthy Stocks, back with another video taking a look at Moderna stock, as I've done a couple of times already. But today's video is a little bit different because we'll also be taking a look at what the company has planned for the future. Rather than just taking a look at the stock price and what that has coming up, we'll take a little bit of a deeper look into the company itself and what they have coming in 2021 to really be able to see whether or not this is a good stock to hold through 2021, right? Because I mean, we've got like 5 days of 2020 left, 4 days of 2020 left. So we'll take a look to see how nice of a hold I personally think it is for myself, and then you guys could make your decisions accordingly. Hope you guys all had an amazing holiday break and are ready to get right back into it. If you enjoy videos like this, hit that like button down below and subscribe to my channel. It really helps me out as I'm trying to grow. And we'll take a look at that part of it, and then of course we'll also take a look at the stock and what I see in there and the future support and resistance levels coming up. So wasting no more time, let me hit record and we will get right into it. So let's quickly cover this. So after a green day on Wednesday, we saw another little red day on Thursday, which was the last trading day of last week. It was another half day, low volume, because it was the day before a holiday. Anyway, let's take a look at Moderna and we'll see what I see. So the first thing that I really want to point out is for the first 3 quarters of 2020, meaning January through September, right? The quarter not including October, November, December, Moderna had 2020 revenue of a Q1 to Q3 2020 revenue of $233 million. Now, they have so far sold 420 million vaccines. Let me add an M here. And that should that should equal $13 billion in revenue, right? So we're talking about a company that went from having 3 quarters, right, which is 75% of a year, 233 million, to a company that we're hoping in 2021, assuming they can deliver all these vaccines, between this quarter now, the vaccines that they're delivering in December, which probably aren't a crazy amount, but still, those vaccine deliveries have started. We have $13 billion of revenue coming. That's the first point that I want to make. Now, another thing that I want to talk about is that comprises of various different countries, right? We've got the US that had initially ordered 100 million and then ordered another 100 million. So we've got 200 in the US, as this says here, sorry. So 200 million to the US, but if we go to this article, right, we've got 160 million doses going to the EU, right? We've got 50 million going to Japan with another pharmaceutical company being involved. The key thing though that I want to focus on also is that Moderna has inked a $100 million dose. This article is a little bit old. It's a November article. But in December, I think 11th it was, don't quote me on that, but the US placed an order for another 100 million. So the US is actually at 200 million doses. But the key thing here is the US has the option for an additional, I mean, at this point it was 400, so now it's an additional 300 million doses. So, I mean, we're talking about at the lowest price point, right? That could be billions of dollars more of revenue for Moderna in 2021 if the US decides to go forward with it. Now, I understand that there are a lot of other companies with vaccine development, but the earliest that the Oxford medication, the Johnson & Johnson one, is going to get FDA approval is February. So we're talking about, I mean, now we're talking about January and then also a little bit of February before that's even an option. AstraZeneca, Johnson & Johnson, they've had a great number of deals with other countries, right? So AstraZeneca has a 400 million dose deal. Johnson & Johnson has a 200 million dose deal. But I don't think that necessarily takes away as much from Moderna as we think it does, because again, the US has the option to place an order for a 300 million more, which means if they were to do it at the max level, we've only seen 40% of that order come in as of right now. Again, this is all dependent on how the vaccine rollout goes, and how people react to it. Hopefully there aren't side effects that are severe. Hopefully it does help in fighting COVID. And then the other thing that the Moderna vaccine has is it can be stored in any refrigerator, freezer, whatever it is, whereas Pfizer's needs to be stored at negative like 90 degrees or something. So that's another competitive advantage that Moderna has over Pfizer, being that those are the only two vaccines that we have available to us right now. The downside, though, is that Moderna is not as big of a company as Pfizer, so they may face some logistical issues. So that's the first thing I wanted to point out. Then another thing I wanted to point out is if you go to Moderna's website, they have a lot of trials going on with cancer research, cancer therapeutics, and vaccines, right? Using a similar mRNA technology that they used here. This is something that one of you guys, or a couple of you guys potentially pointed out to me, and I appreciate you guys for doing that, because that, really led me to look into this and taking a look at some of the studies that have come out. Now, a lot of these are in early stages. It's not in stage 3, because typically drug development, vaccine development takes years and years and years of research before we see really any indication of success or not. This COVID vaccine was a little bit of an anomaly because of how soon we needed it, because how many people are dying and how many people are getting infected. But this article published in early November, right, shows their personalized cancer vaccine shows promise in early stage trial. That's good news for the company, because that's down the road, right? That's one thing that we have to consider, is down the road what this company will do sort of post-COVID. Now, we don't know if the coronavirus vaccine is something that is going to be a yearly thing, if the coronavirus is going to mutate and we need to get new vaccines to kind of protect ourselves against that, kind of like the flu shot every single year, or if this is more of a one-time thing. That's something that we're still waiting to hear. Although a repeat of the vaccine could mean bad news for the world, in the sense that it could mutate and keep hurting and killing people and spreading, it could mean good news for Moderna, in that they can keep developing this vaccine, keep changing it, and keep selling this product to people. So that's kind of what I really wanted to share with you guys. Is in the first now before I kind of end that, I know that a lot of the pricing of this vaccine, and we've seen a huge run up going back to the stock, going from this levels where it was trading before to this high of a level after we saw the announcement of the approval. I do think that as we get those revenue numbers in, the $13 billion in revenue that I was talking about, that I think that will be good news for the stock pushing it forward. I know a lot of people are saying, oh, that's already priced in. I do agree, right? But we could get more orders. Like I said, we can't price in whether or not the US is going to order 300 million more doses. So I am bullish on the company. I do own shares. I am a little down on the shares, and as I know a lot of you guys are as well, but I'm planning on holding, because I think 2021 should be a great year for this company. Taking a look at the EMAs. So the last time we took a look at these EMAs, right, we were taking a look at the 21 EMA. Then when it broke it, we were looking at the 34 EMA to see if it would hold. Sure enough, the next day on Wednesday, it came up, closed above it. And now we are below this level again. So what am I looking at moving forward with the stock? First things first, let's establish kind of the upside, right? What happens if Moderna has a green day? What level am I watching out for? This 145 level, which is about $22 away, so it does seem a little bit far away, is a level that the stock has struggled to break through a couple times here. So from a price level action, I think that 145 level will be pretty crucial for us to break through in order for us to push forward. Now, one thing that I will say is we have really struggled to break the AEMA on the hourly chart sometimes, so I would like to see it break that. But more so than that, what I want to do is go back to the daily, and so we're now above this 34 EMA, right? The 34 EMA is at 124.67. We are at 123.39, technically 122.88. So that's the first thing that I want the stock to do, is recapture that 34 EMA, which I do think that the stock hopefully is able to do, right? Once it can do that, then since we are making lower highs for the past 4 days, I would like to see it push towards the highs of the previous day. So the high that we set on Thursday was 129.70, then 132 of the day before, then 141 of the day before, and then this 145 level. That's if we push up. Those are kind of the incremental levels that I'm looking at for the stock to see kind of where it's headed. On the downside, we've got the low, which is 122.72, then we've got this 115 level. If we go back to this 115 level, I would like to see it hold up as really good support, but in case it doesn't, we also have the 55 EMA at 112.45, and I do think that that should hold up as pretty good support. So low of today, then 115, then the 55 EMA coming in at 112.45. I really want the stock to start heading back up, but like I said, right, I think the great things are coming in 2021 if we get additional orders, if the vaccine, as people get vaccinated, shows really good results. Hopefully the US orders more vaccines from, you know, both Pfizer but also from Moderna as we move forward. Beyond 2021, since I have an account where I hold swings for, you know, several years down the line. Apple is a really big holding. If you watch my Apple update videos, feel free to check those out as well. But that's more of a, you know, mid 2021. That's when I'll kind of look at the stock, look at the company, and, you know, see if we have any updates on these cancer researches, because that will determine whether I continue to hold beyond 2021, 2022, right? Because 2021, I think, should be good for them because of what they have in the coronavirus vaccines. Hopefully they get more orders, we get the billions in revenues that we're talking about, and the stock can push up. But for me to hold the company beyond that, I want to see some of their therapeutics and some of their cancer research and some other vaccines that they're working on come in, which from early stages, they sound pretty promising, but I want good news for that to come in, and then I'll hopefully, you know, hold beyond 2021 as well. That's my thoughts on the company. Make sure you kind of do your own research or ask your financial advisor if you do have one on what they think about the company. I'm hoping for good news. I'm hoping for it to finally start reversing. If I remove this indicator and I just draw a trend line, what we will see is, you know, not a very pretty looking trend line. We are in a downward trending channel, and I'm really hoping for that to change sometime soon. So, you know, we'll see if it can potentially break out of this, or if it continues downward. I think hopefully it'll start to consolidate and then start to push right back up as we get more positive news about the vaccine. I know that recently the news about the new strain really put a damper on the stock, but, you know, hopefully we can fight and we can move forward. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like, subscribe to my channel. Let me know. I know a lot of you guys are holding Moderna. Let me know what you're holding at. I'm a little down too, so right there with you guys, but hoping for a great 2021, which is why I continue to hold the stock. Hope you guys are all having an amazing holiday break and an amazing weekend. Let's remember to be a bit better every single day. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and until next time.